Omni movement sucks. Changed my mind. So I love this post from Westy. He just put out a simple question. Omni movement is completely pointless, and we'd be better off without it. Changed my mind. My thoughts on Omni movement are probably different than most players because I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And I've played pretty much every title except I want to say I didn't play Modern Warfare 3 2023 or whatever that year was for that game. I think that was the first COD I'd skipped. No, I skipped World War II. I think I skipped that one too. But anyway, my stance on movement in Call of Duty has been I noticed that Call of Duty has, over the years, tried to make things as quick as possible, right? They want you to be able to move around the map as quick as possible without completely breaking the game. I feel like Omni movement is one of those things that they implemented so that we can, yet again, increase movement speed across the map, give the player more options. I think they achieved that goal. If their goal is to make everything faster, they've done it. But for players like me, it doesn't matter. Okay, you could bump up the literal base speed of everybody. You could make me where I could move literally any direction sprinting, which is basically what Omni movement is. You can move any direction fast. And with the implementation of sliding, this game it pretty much it breaks your point of view at some point at certain points when you're playing. There are situations in Call of Duty where you could be standing holding a position and somebody is tack sprint and then in the slide around a corner. Because of the tick rate of the servers, they are going to see you before you see them. And a lot of times that person can kill you before you have even had a chance to see them. Is that fun? Does that take skill? That's where the conversation and arguments kind of go all over the place. It's like, okay, this takes more skill than insert other COD. Is it fun though? That's the final question. That's the kind of on the chopping block question. Is it fun? I think Omni movement is something that I got used to pretty quickly. I put in maybe 100 hours into Black Ops 6, mostly in zombies because I was enjoying the zombies a lot. But for the multiplayer, I spent maybe 40%, maybe 30% of my time there. It's okay. It's not something that was like, hard to get used to or something that was just blowing my mind with this year's Call of Duty. And I think when you start combining all of these features together, it starts to become a different game. It doesn't feel like Call of Duty. And that's coming from somebody that's been playing it since 2007. I am in the camp of, I like the older COD, regular base sprint, no knee sliding. Dolphin diving is one thing. And honestly, most people don't even dolphin dive. The only people that are dolphin diving are people that are either sweating, absolutely just going nuts, or they're going for clips with their sniper. I mean, dolphin diving in general is not a good thing because it puts you in a position where you can't really do anything. You're just getting shot midair, or once you land, you get shot. I'll be honest, some of the maps are actually pretty decent in this game. Some of the maps are pretty decent. Most of them not memorable, but some of them are. But I noticed a lot of people spend a lot of time on the smaller maps. So this guy says, I don't understand the Omni movement hate. It's just MW19 minus a bunny hop and being able to dive slide any direction, which is like 80% of the player base doesn't utilize for some reason. To me, at least, Omni movement feels like something the franchise should have done years ago. I don't think that Omni movement should have been in the franchise years ago. I'll tell you why. Because those games in previous years, they did just fine. They did fine without Omni movement. I don't think those games would have been better with Omni movement. Now, a lot of people might find Omni movement exciting and fun because it's even more sweatier than it was. You can knee slide literally any direction now as fast as possible. But for me, it's not doing anything for me. Omni is the best addition to COD. Yeah, I mean this guy is a prime example. Phase scope. This guy wants movement absolutely just insane, going crazy style because he's a sniper. He goes for clips. More movement means more crazy clips. So this guy is going to want the most crazy adaptation of movement that the Call of Duty can possibly produce. So I don't take anything from PhaseScope. This guy, obviously, if it was up to him, he would be sprint sliding, flying a million miles per hour while hitting 360 no scopes. I get it. I totally get it. If you know how to utilize Omni movement correctly, it's a powerful asset, and M19 only has better responsive and B-hop. If the engine gets M19 responsive and feels less floaty, feeling it would be undefeated, completely pointless, is insane in this take. To say that it's not pointless is also kind of crazy because we've had Call of Duties before without Omni movement and we didn't need them in those games. You could implement Omni Movement in those games, and I don't think it'd make them better. People would go back and play Modern Warfare 2 with Omni Movement and say, oh man, what were we doing? Those games feel fine. Go back and play them if you can, whether that's on Xbox, PlayStation, or on Steam. Steam, it's kind of, actually, all of them, it's kind of sketchy because you don't know if you're going to get hacked or not. And all the lobbies are just insane if you can even get in one. But those games were fine the way they are. And some people are going to say nostalgia. They're going to say, oh, well, because you played them and that was when you were younger, you like them more. I'm starting to come full circle and like, I used to think like, yeah, it is nostalgia. Now I'm like, no, it's not. Sometimes it actually is better. Just because you did it when you were a child doesn't mean automatically nostalgia. Sometimes it literally was better. And better is subjective in this case because it's personal. Like I said, Facescope, that guy wants a movement. He wants to be a movement god, and that's fine. This guy's asking the question, is it pointless and would be better off without it? I mean, I don't think I need to change this guy's mind. For me personally, I think Call of Duty was just fine without it. And if the next COD didn't have Omni Movement, I'm not gonna even play it. Honestly, I'm done with Call of Duty at this point because I've played it for so long and it's become a game that I don't enjoy anymore. And the yearly cycle of Call of Duty in and out has completely burnt me out. So I've given my time and money to Call of Duty, so you're not going to see me on the next COD. I just won't touch it. I mean, it could be the only way it gets me to play it is if it's Modern Warfare 2 remastered multiplayer or Black Ops 1 multiplayer remastered or something, an old game that is just remastered. I would be down for that because I really enjoyed Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare remastered in 2017, and that was actually a really bad year for Call of Duty because of Infinite Warfare. And that's actually something I want to bring up is that Call of Duty historically has had some really crazy adaptations of movement, right? In Black Ops 1, we had the Dolphin Dive. In Black Ops 3, we had what was close to jetpacking. It was like exosuit jumping and wall running, which was even extra, right? We were wall running like it was Titanfall, which was crazy. And then we had exosuits. We had Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, where you could literally jump up onto rooftops, which I called that Call of Duty Rooftop Warfare, which is basically what it was. Yeah, we've had many adaptations of movement in Call of Duty, and some of them felt fine, some of them were kind of crazy. Like, at the time, it felt nuts. But if you really dig deep into, like, what makes a game fun is how fluid and responsive those games are. Do they feel clunky? Do you feel like what you're doing doesn't make sense? Do you feel like you're dying in situations that don't make sense? It feels like after Tac Sprint and on, there's just been an influx of moments in every single Call of Duty where I feel like I die and I'm like, what happened? And it's that camera breaking situation I was talking about earlier, where players are able to move so fast, and because of tick rate of servers, you're dying before you even see it sometimes. And honestly, on screen, it just looks bad. It's hard to, like, I'm probably, you guys probably think I'm old. It's too sweaty. The CODs that I played were very much positional based, not movement based. So like you had to get on heady positions where you had, head glitches, and you had to hold basically anchor positions, or just really positioning mattered a lot instead of movement. And we've moved away from that. It feels like you could be anywhere on the map and just dumpster somebody. It kind of feels like there's no really like power positions on the map anymore because anybody can just tack sprint knee slide anywhere, breaking any positioning. So I've gone back and played several COD multiplayer since Omni Movement's introduction, and they all feel much slower. I hope Omni Movement stays. Yeah, I'm probably going to be in the minority here when I say that I like the slower CODs. I enjoy the slower CODs. Now, did I like Black Ops 3? Yeah, it was fun, but it was super fluid, and it mimicked Titanfall's fluidity. Titanfall has one of the best movements in any first-person shooter. Black Ops 3 really did it. Like, they got close, and it felt good. And that was a game that I really enjoyed, even though a lot of people didn't like it because it was such a giant change to what we had in the past. Yeah, maybe me saying I like Black Ops 3 is the same as these people saying they like Omni Movement and Tac Sprint. But Tac Sprint, Omni Movement, all these things are making COD unenjoyable for me. MW3 movement and aiming was much more responsive. It was immediately apparent after the update that Omni Movement made stuff feel more sluggish. It's not a deal breaker, but it's noticeable. I think Omni Movement is great if you're a controller player. It lends well to an analog. I used to play on controller because I played on Xbox 360, then on Xbox One, then I upgraded to PC, and I just found it easier to play Call of Duty with a mouse and keyboard. And when I'm playing, I'm a very strafey. With the Omni, I feel like I could move around a little bit, but like there were times where I just felt like I wasn't even noticing it. I wasn't even feeling it, and it wasn't really affecting how I was playing. And maybe I wasn't getting I wasn't getting everything out of the Omni move that I should have been. If you have this opinion, you just don't use Omni move right. That's all. Way better, only negative is if we can't B-hop, which hopefully gets added soon. Bro, B-hopping? Okay, I never got into that. Yet again, I'm old school. I'm not into like advanced movement like that. B hopping I didn't like. They fumbled the bag with optimizing the potential of this game, but I love Omni and I hope it stays with future cards. Yeah, I mean to me, it could go away and it wouldn't hurt me at all. It wouldn't bother me at all. I'm a player that it doesn't matter to at all. Disagree. I think fundamentally of the fundamentals of Omni movement are great evolution of COD movement. My huge concern and frustration is with that the current Black Ops 6 movement feels floaty or slippery in sense, like you aren't planted on the ground. On top of that, there's a huge assist issue with accidentally diving when trying to simply go prone because you think the game's sprinting for a split second. If we were to get MW19 or MW3 movement, but the Omni movement beat bunny hopping for just 2 consecutive jumps, no reticle bobbing, and good drop shotting, I could think it'd be nearly universally loved by everyone. No, it wouldn't be. Huskers, that's where you're wrong, buddy. It's not going to be universally loved by everybody, and I'm the one person that's not going to love. I don't want bunny hopping, and I don't want Omni movement. I'm an old man. I'm going to plant my flag in the yard and say it. I don't want more movement. I'm tired of movement. I'm tired of this shift of like we got to get faster, we got to move faster, we got to get more movement because of skill gap or whatever. Maybe it is. Maybe it is a skill gap thing because it takes more time to get used to. I'm done with how fast you can move on these games. Not sure why it's an unpopular opinion, but this is the best movement we've ever had without b hopping and proning penalties. How isn't this the best movement we've ever had? I go back and watch 2019 movement compared to. See, I find this interesting that everybody is basically ignoring the history of Call of Duty as if Modern Warfare 2019 was the first COD, right? All these people they keep referencing these CODs. Did they forget that we used to play Call of Duty before 2019? I mean, there are Call of Duties that I really enjoyed that didn't have Omni movement, that didn't have tac sprinting, and I would be happy to go back and play those games. Everyone has an opinion on it. Here's my opinion. I stand in the camp of slide canceling, b hopping, Omni movement, tac sprint, all this stuff doesn't matter to me. Basic Call of Duty movement was just fine. I didn't need an evolution of movement. I'm a simple man when it comes to Call of Duty. All this stuff could go away and I'd be fine. And that's what I think. And that's it, guys. You know, what are your thoughts on this? Are you still playing Call of Duty? Because I haven't touched the title. I haven't touched Call of Duty in like 3 months. I stopped playing it on literally, I think it was like Christmas Day or something like that. I haven't played it. Are you guys still playing it? Does Omni movement make your guys' experience much better? Do you feel like Call of Duty is moving in the right direction? What are you hoping for the next Call of Duty? If you plan on playing it, I don't care what it is, unless it'd have to be Modern Warfare or Black Ops remastered. Like if it's a new COD, I'm just not playing it. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. That's it.